What if ancient wisdom could transform your modern-day finances? For thousands of years, the Jewish people have turned to the Torah, not just for spiritual guidance, but for practical advice on everything from relationships to money. And get this, the Torah is treated with such deep respect that worn scrolls are buried, not thrown away. But what does this ancient text actually say about prosperity? And how can its timeless principles impact your financial life today? Stick around, because the last insight might just change the way you think about wealth forever. First, tzedakah. The key to building wealth and achieving a happy life is saving more and planning better. That is what everyone thinks. But the Torah teaches a powerful financial philosophy that does the exact opposite. Tzedakah, or charity, encourages people to give part of their wealth to those in need. You see, the Torah teaches that the money you have isn't truly yours. It's on loan from God, who expects you to use it to assist other creatures who need it. Why give to tzedakah? It counters the greed and materialism that cause much of our financial stress in today's world. Big corporations and popular culture push us to buy more and pay more by tying our worth to possessions. But do we really need everything we chase so desperately? Tzedakah redirects our focus, pushing us to overcome selfish instincts and find deeper fulfillment by valuing what truly matters, such as human connection, community, and kindness. Importantly, the very word tzedakah means justice. The Torah recognizes that economic inequality and the wealth gap in society are causes of much of the tensions we feel. While wealthy people can afford luxuries such as planes and yachts, the larger number of less privileged people often struggle to afford basic necessities such as healthcare and housing, contributing to crime and other ills. By practicing tzedakah, you are helping to correct social inequality and build a more equitable and therefore safer society. You are helping build a society less focused on a mad chase for money and more characterized by compassion and care for the things that really matter. But that's not all. The Torah redefines our understanding of how charity should work. Instead of simply giving handouts to those in need, the Holy Book recommends giving strategically, in a way calculated to achieve tangible long-term results, such as helping someone become self-sufficient, whether by providing a loan, a job opportunity, or a business partnership. Tzedakah doesn't even have to be in the form of money. You can give your skills or your time to noble causes around you. In addition to its practical benefits, the Jewish people believe that giving tzedakah holds deep spiritual significance. According to the Torah, giving tzedakah activates a spiritual law of cause and effect, attracting financial blessings to the giver. When one gives with the right intention, cheerfully, sincerely, and with empathy, it creates a flow of abundance in one's own life. If you're enjoying the video, give it a like and hit that subscribe button to stay updated with more great content. Now, let's get back to it. Ikinci, Bal Tashchit. Earning more money may be the fastest way to grow richer, but the Torah teaches a more practical way for you to get richer with the resources you already have. Interested? Well, the secret is a principle called Bal Tashit, which means do not destroy or do not waste. This principle originates from a passage in Deuteronomy 20, which commands armies not to cut down fruit trees while laying siege to a city. Why? Because those trees provide food, a vital resource that shouldn't be destroyed needlessly, even in the heat of battle. This rule doesn't apply to war alone. The Torah strictly forbids the waste of valuable resources, such as food and money. Indeed, the Talmud teaches us that wasting lamp oil, tearing clothes unnecessarily, chopping up furniture for firewood, or even killing animals without purpose, all violate Bal Tashchit. Why does this matter for your finances? Because financial stress often comes from waste, spending money on things you want but don't need, or failing to properly utilize what you have. Bal Tashchit teaches us not to be miserly, but to be mindful and intentional with every dollar, every asset, and every opportunity. Statistics show nearly 90% of shoppers in the US have spent money on impulse buying. And because these spendings are unplanned, they are mostly wasteful and unnecessary. When people spend on impulse buys, they waste scarce resources that could otherwise be spent on vital needs such as investments or savings. The result? More financial stress. Building wealth requires discipline, commitment, and self-awareness. You might think, oh, it's just a $5 latte. But Jewish theologians have pointed out that even the needless loss of a tiny grain of mustard seed is unacceptable under the principle of Bal Tashit. Little drops of water make the mighty ocean. Want to grow richer? You don't need to wait till you make more money. You can get richer simply by avoiding the waste of your present resources. Try it out yourself. Check your subscriptions and identify which ones you don't really need. Instead of replacing your items and gadgets once they develop the slightest fault, try getting them repaired instead. Maybe you can reuse your old clothes, containers, or furniture instead of discarding them. Instead of giving in to impulse buys, try making shopping lists and sticking to them. The Torah reminds us that the earth and all its resources ultimately belong to God. We are here to serve as stewards over it. That means our job is to protect and preserve what we have, and to use it judiciously in a way that pleases God, the owner of everything. Practicing this principle means ditching the mindless chase of endless consumption or short-term gratification and focusing on efficiency and purpose instead. Now that we've discussed how to conserve resources, the next secret shows you how the Torah advises you to invest it. 3. The three-part investment strategy. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the investment options we have today. There are stocks, real estate, bonds, cash, and a million different types and kinds of funds. Well, what does the Torah advise us to invest in? The answer? Pretty much everything. Let me explain. The Torah teaches an investment formula known as the three-part investment strategy. Let every man divide his money into 3 parts, 1/3 in land, 1/3 in business, and 1/3 let him keep by him in reserve. What does all of that mean in our modern-day terms? 1/3 in land part clearly applies to real estate investment. Applying the Torah's strategy here would mean investing in not just your residential property, but also in rental properties or real estate investment trusts. Land is considered a stable, tangible asset. You might not become the wealthiest man on earth solely by investing in it, but since it almost never loses all its value, an investment in land definitely gives you a valuable financial anchor. The second part of the strategy deals with business or stocks and business ventures in today's language. This section of your 3-part strategy has more risk, but at the same time promises higher potential returns. An investment in business can be unpredictable, but it's also where your money can grow the fastest. The Torah recommends investing 1/3 of your finances in this category so as to protect you from the effects of potential business downturns while allowing you to take advantage of the potential that it offers. The Torah advises you to keep the third and final category in reserve. In modern-day terms, this means money that is kept liquid in cash or bonds. When you have money at hand, which you can quickly access in emergencies, you can quickly act when you see business opportunities or in case of a rainy day. Why does this matter today? One word: diversification. The Torah wants you to avoid putting all your eggs in one basket by spreading your wealth across different investment categories. The business world can be very volatile indeed, and one investment mistake can set you on the path to bankruptcy. Even today, our modern economic experts teach their students to follow a similar strategy in their investment plans. No matter how well you plan, there can always be an unseen eventuality in business. But apart from how to manage risk, the Torah's advice here teaches us something even deeper: prudence and balance. Instead of chasing quick profits or hoarding cash, it promotes the choice of steady, thoughtful growth combined with security and flexibility. Maimonides, the great Jewish philosopher, explains that this approach reflects a broader life ideal: to build lasting wealth without risking everything for fleeting gains, and to maintain enough liquidity so you're never caught off guard. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed by financial stress, consider following the Torah's practical advice. Don't put all your investment eggs in one basket. Try to strike a balance between risk and safety. With the 3-part strategy, you have stability through real estate, rapid growth potential in business, and safety in cash reserves. This means you have more peace of mind regardless of what tomorrow brings. And remember, you must not follow the Torah's guidelines here in a rigid manner. See it instead as a general guiding principle. It's totally okay to allocate more funds to some categories, depending on your personal situation, but the core idea here is to spread risk and always hold some ready money. The next Torah secret teaches us the right way to relate with the law to ensure financial success. So you better hit the like button and subscribe if you've not done so yet. Rabbi Lifnim Mishurat Hadin. Nobody wants legal trouble, especially when it has to do with money. So most of us focus on doing just enough to stay out of trouble, paying our bills on time, implementing contracts, and making sure we are always in line with the law. For the Torah, however, this is simply not enough. The Holy Book teaches a principle called Lifnim Mishurat Hadin, which means beyond the letter of the law. This basically asks us to be just, nice and honest, even when we're not legally obligated to. In your money dealings with people, the Torah says, go the extra mile. How does this work? Imagine you're a business owner, or even just someone who lends money to a friend. The contract says your debtor has to pay back in 30 days, but your friend is struggling and asks for a little more time. The law says you can insist on immediate payment, but Lifnim Mishurat Hadin encourages you to be flexible, compassionate, and generous enough to allow your debtor more time to repay. Practicing Lifnim Mishurat Hadin has practical benefits that can change your financial life for the better. This isn't about being nice just for the sake of it. Let me tell you how. You see, when people know you to be kind and honest, they tend to trust you more. And trust is the most valuable currency in any financial relationship. Everybody wants to do business with a trustworthy guy, and your business partners and clients want to repay your kindness and empathy by staying loyal to your business. This means more business and more profits for you in the long run. The Torah teaches that true wealth lies in the quality of relationships that one has, rather than just how much money is in one's bank account. Going the extra mile means you build wealth in the way that truly matters, by creating and sustaining genuine human relationships. Business people who choose to stick strictly to the letter of the law in all matters may indeed win some legal cases, but ultimately will have a price to pay in lost relationships and a negative public reputation, which ultimately translates to lower business patronage and less success. Lifnim Mishurat Hadin also applies to how you treat employees, customers, and even your competitors. Rewarding a committed worker by giving them bonuses, giving a customer a refund even when you're not legally obligated to, or refusing to take advantage of a legal loophole, these acts can do wonders for your public credibility. And what's more, practicing this principle protects you from legal troubles and financial headaches. People are less likely to sue or cause problems when they feel respected and treated fairly. So, how can you apply Lifnim Mishurat Hadin today? Start by asking yourself, am I doing just the minimum required, or am I going a little further to be fair and kind? Could I be more generous with my time, money, or patience in a financial situation? Are my business practices transparent and honest, even when no one is watching? The Torah encourages you to go from a transactional, what's in it for me, approach to a compassionate, ethical mode. Petkes Gnaivat Da'at. There is no gainsaying that fraud is one of the biggest threats to businesses today. In fact, financial fraud against small businesses has increased by 70% since 2020. As trade grows increasingly digital, fraud strategies will only continue to grow in sophistication. The Torah provides an antidote to this with its principle of Gnaivat Da'at, which means stealing of the mind or deception. This principle doesn't just condemn lying and stealing. It says a strong no to all forms of trickery and deception in business. You see, the Torah recognizes that dishonesty damages the very foundation of business, which is trust. The principle of Gnaivat Da'at says it is wrong to give customers wrong impressions or perceptions about a product. This includes making false promises, hiding faults, and inflating a product's value. This principle condemns the use of false advertising and deliberately failing to provide customers with vital information. You may be thinking, but every business uses some form of manipulation nowadays. But the Torah replies, you're better than them. You want your credibility and reputation intact in business, and you can only achieve that by employing the principle of Gnaivat Da'at. A good reputation means loyal customers and more sales. But that isn't the only thing you stand to benefit. By avoiding deception, you reduce your risk of getting involved with legal issues, which may cause you significant pain and stress. Genevat Dat also applies to how you present yourself financially. Are you honest about your capabilities and resources? Do you avoid exaggerating your income or hiding debts? The Torah's wisdom here is clear. An honest businessman will never run out of customers. When people feel safe doing business with you, there's no limit to what levels of financial achievement you can unlock. Sixth, Ma'aser. For the final secret, we'll be discussing another one of the Torah's counterintuitive financial principles, the Ma'aser, or tithe. The Torah commands us to give away 1/10 of our earnings after taxes. This tithe can go to supporting noble causes ranging from Torah study to community initiatives, to support the less privileged. Give 1/10 and you will become wealthy. So says the Torah. But how exactly does this work? Well, God has promised in the Torah to reward those who give ma'aser with financial success. For believers in the Torah, paying the tithe means entering into a partnership with God. Think of it as a 90-10 partnership. You keep 90% and you give 10% back to God as an expression of trust and gratitude. When you honor this partnership, your 90% is protected and blessed. Even non-Jews can benefit from this principle. Tithing requires careful budgeting to ensure that the right amount is set aside and paid from one's resources. The financial discipline and planning skills that result from this can help you develop greater control over your finances. It forces you to budget carefully, prioritize what truly matters, and avoid wasteful spending. Like tzedakah, Maaser helps protect your mind from greed and materialism, helping you to build a spirit of generosity and gratitude and giving you peace of mind. So, if you want to break free from financial stress, start by committing to Maaser. Set aside that sacred 1/10, give it with joy and trust, and watch how your financial life begins to change. Which of these principles speaks to you the most and why? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and click the subscribe button so you don't miss our new uploads. See you in the next one.